Hi everyone, it's Connie and welcome to week 9 of the 90-day transformation project. Today we're working on self-care, and this week I'm going to be encouraging you to create some self-care practices for yourself. And the reason I feel this is so important as we're coming into a really busy time of year. We're coming into December, which is filled with Christmas parties and New Year's Eve and having to finish up at work and get everything ready for the end of the year, spending money, having to go to parties with food and alcohol and everything that involves. It can be very easy to lose touch with ourselves, with what we need for ourselves and for creating self-care practices. So I think it's really important that we work on this week, and I'd love to encourage you to set practices that you can carry through December to support you throughout this time of year. The other reason that this is a really beautiful topic for me this week is because I've just spent the past week doing a 5 days of yoga challenge for myself. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that. It's where I decided I was going to attend yoga class 5 times this week. And it has been such a beautiful experience. It's been transformational, I would say, and it's left me feeling so grounded and calm and connected to myself, and also really proud of myself that I was able to follow through on this decision that I made and dedicate some time to really nourishing myself. So I really want to encourage you to do the same. And I've seen some of you on Instagram and on Facebook already commenting that you're going to be doing the same next week and doing a 5 days of yoga challenge. And I really want to encourage you that if that's something that you want to do, to really go for it, because you'll find it really, really beneficial. But if that's not for you, then we can start working on some other self-care practices that you can be integrating throughout the time of December. So on the worksheet, I get you really thinking about what are your needs and what needs have you been neglecting, and what self-care practices can you start to implement to support those needs. And I'm going to ask you to choose five practices that you are committing to integrating, possibly just for the upcoming week, but preferably throughout all of December to really support you through this busy time of year. So I'm going to share with you what my 5 are. I've mentioned them on the blog, but I'll just explain them to you here because I want to be able to declare these to you so that you can hold me accountable, because they're big for me. They're big commitments and I'm really wanting to achieve these. The first one is, I feel almost a bit embarrassed saying that caffeine is still a vice of mine. So I'm going to be working throughout December to completely get myself off caffeine. Now, I have weaned myself off coffee and I'm now really enjoying my chai tea, but I would love to be free of caffeine altogether, because I don't like the feeling of being dependent on something. The other thing, which is a beautiful self-care practice for me around my diet, is eliminating sugar from my diet as well. And I don't really eat that much sugar anymore. I did the Sarah Wilson Quitting Sugar program, which really helped me. A little bit has crept back in, so I just want to work on eliminating that from my diet, which will be challenging around Christmas, but as much as I can throughout December. I'm going to be working on a meditation practice. I meditate regularly, and I tend to do it more so when I feel I need it rather than as a regular practice. So I would love to include this as a daily practice for myself to connect with myself and really support myself through the busy time of year that we're coming into. What are my other ones? My yoga as well. So I won't necessarily commit to doing 5 days of yoga every week, but I'd love to maintain a practice of 2 to 3 times a week. And yoga has been so beautiful for me this week, as I felt it extremely heart-opening. I felt a real openness in this area. It's allowed me to stretch into areas of discomfort in my life. I think because through yoga, you have to stretch into areas of your body where you're holding discomfort. And you have to hold those poses that are uncomfortable and really breathe through that uncomfortable feeling. And I think that is a beautiful lesson to take into life, is whatever you come up against in life that makes you uncomfortable, whatever emotions come up that are uncomfortable to you, that you just stay with it. you breathe through it, you almost stretch into it more and open up into it. And that has been a beautiful lesson I've learned from yoga this week. And it flows on really well to my next point, which the next thing I'm going to be working on this month, which is about feeling and expressing my emotions. Now, yoga has been beautiful for this. As I mentioned, it's allowed me to really open up into uncomfortable feelings, but it's also caused me to have to be, I think, much more authentic and real in my day-to-day experiences. And this week I had a really interesting experience with my emotions. Had a lot of emotion coming up around something. I got quite upset, and I ended up wanting to have a very authentic and powerful conversation with my boyfriend as a result. I really felt this came from my yoga practice, which was a very heart-opening, just opening into that discomfort. And so I was able to have this conversation with him by standing in my truth, really connecting with my inner power and my need to express myself. And I was very calm when I spoke to him. And I just had this beautiful conversation, telling him my needs, telling him what I was feeling, and perhaps acknowledging feelings that I had been suppressing and denying. But through the practice of yoga, I really had to bring them to the surface. So for me, that is a practice of really throughout December, continuing to really honor my feelings, to stretch into uncomfortable feelings, and where necessary, to speak my truth, to speak up, and to communicate what I'm feeling and what I need. So that is my work for this week. I look forward to hearing what your 5 practices are. Please share them in the Facebook group and really work to include those throughout December to support yourself through this crazy time of year. I will send out the worksheet to you soon, and I hope you enjoy the blog post as well. Have a gorgeous, gorgeous week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.